Okay, thought I would do a little adventure here, which we usually do at Danger Shop. That's how we got our name. This, I've started to turn this bowl this morning, and turned out to, it was going to be a fire pit bowl, just not worth the extra work over here. See if we can get a better shot of it. This goes all the way through, the knot goes all the way through. There's a crack here that's going to worsen as I go down. So I thought I'd use it as a demonstration bowl. A lot of people have had bowls blow up on them by turn the bowl, got their wall thickness however they want it, and it's like, gee, I think I can get another cut off that rim. And guess what? They get a slight catch, and then they have a Frankenstein bowl because they're going to have to glue and stitch it together to make a bowl again. And just hopefully they don't get hurt. I learned a long time ago from a wood turner that you go in, say, 1.5 inches, and you clean up your rim before you turn any further. You just go in that 1.5 inches, clean up your rim, do the majority of your sanding. It don't have to be finished sanded, just do the majority of your sanding with your power tool or by hand. I usually do it by hand near the rim. Then you can go ahead and turn the rest of the bowl and do your sanding and blend it, match it, because then you've got all this extra support here to prevent chatter and vibration. But if you decide to go like as far as I did, and I called it quits, right now I'm looking at a quarter to right there is probably about 5/16, and I just called it quits. So I'm going to show how I do it when I have to go back to a rim. Consider this a finished bowl. I'm going to go back to the rim. You can see I've got tool marks. I left marks and stuff there. Got a little knotty burly stuff going on here. All kinds of stuff that just loves to grab your tools and throw your bowl at the moon. So I'm going to show how I do it. I have several scrapers. One's a 1/2 inch that I reground to my pattern. This is a Craftsman tell you the truth, I forget what that was, what it originally started out as, but I know I didn't like it, and I thought that'd make a nice negative rake inboard bowl scraper. It's short, easy to handle, don't weigh much, so I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to use, and it's worked out pretty good. But you do not use them flat on the rest. I know guys use the negative rakes and they go in flat. It's like, oh yeah, that's great stuff. Not near a rim, it's not. Nope, because even a negative rake, you get the chatter, it'll grab it, and of course, instinct, you try and fight back, there went your bowl. So this one is not negative rake. You definitely don't use that near the rim flat on the rest. You're going to have to tilt it to get your scrapey action going here. I'm going to try and do this without blowing it up. Now, one thing you can do, I'm just going to use this pad because it's garbage now, and this is a garbage bowl. I usually fold up a paper towel And you do not wrap it around your fingers, even a paper towel. You don't wrap it around your fingers. You make a pad that you can hold like so on the outside part of this bowl rim, because you want to counter the pressure of the tool with your fingers outside to prevent chatter, and I call it singing. You know, it's a kind of a weird frequency. So that way you don't get the chatter. It doesn't want to grab the tool, hopefully. I haven't had one fail on me yet, but hey, I'm doing a video. Of course it's going to do it today, probably. Most of them recommend around 300. I'm, well, 290. Oh, there we go, 300. Woke up. I normally would go a lot faster because I'm comfortable with it, but I'm going to do this the recommended way and do it at 300. The tool, I've got it lifted, and I'm doing it light. You don't use a lot of pressure. That's the whole point of this pad, is to counteract the light pressure you're going to be putting on it. You take the light touch and you work your way toward the outside. That is an interesting sound, isn't it? Thump, thump, thump. I don't like it. Okay. Here's a 1/2-inch marble tool I bought in a bundle from a lady turner. And it is actually, it cuts very nicely. Wanting to hang right there at the edge. Another trick to this is do not have, say, half the curve cutting at one time. You don't want any huge amount of the curve. It's like here. I've got maybe a 1/4 inch that's actually doing any cutting. And then as I change where I'm going, I'm using a different part of the tool, but I'm only using a small amount. Now normally you would be working on a bowl that didn't have a knot and garbage banging away on you. You see, most of the tool marks are gone. I'm not pushing too hard because of that nasty name knot. Okay, now that was at 300. Caught up with me. 585. I've gone as high as 750 with these. Not recommended. You'd have to do this a number of times and be comfortable with the structure of the bowl. Which, to tell you the truth, I'm not comfortable with the structure of the bowl. The knot and the crack. Oh yeah, it's talking to me. I'm trying to shear straight. See, that was doing a better job at the higher speed. Now that's easily sandable. No big deal. Yeah, and I can just, what if it was a savable bowl, I would just start right here and finish my cuts and then use my round nose scraper to finish off the bottom. Now another thing you can do as a safety precaution is good old painter's tape or Dollar General clear packing tape, like for shipping. You can wrap the outside of the rim put 3 or 4 wraps around it. Don't get them out here where they're going to be flapping and distracting you. You want them from right here at the edge on back, but wrap it tight so that it will help dampen vibration. And if there is a crack that you have not spotted or heard, it will help it keep it from flying apart. Now, I don't know, I can just to do it. I do not recommend this until you are experienced or you want to have your own danger shop. I'm going to try and go just a little faster. That's me. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. There we go, 700. See, I can see a little wobble because it's changed shape. Somebody's going to say, what happens if that thing blows up? Because I don't have any tape on it. And your fingers are hanging out there. Well, putting counter pressure on there, but very lightly. Because I would not want my fingers getting sucked in to the open gap as the piece goes into space. This is why the vast majority of turners, now see see that'd be down to my finish thickness. That's quarter inch right there on the inside of that. It's an undercut rim, and yeah, it's a quarter inch right there. So that'd be a finished thing. I wouldn't go thinner than that. I don't care how nice a piece of wood it is. It would just have to be sanded at a quarter inch. I wouldn't go any thinner. But that's how you can go back to the rim if you absolutely feel you have to. Like I said, 300 RPM, some painter's tape or packing tape around the outside. Use a pad of paper towel to counter pressure it. It doesn't take much. If it gets hot to where like, ouch, this is hurting, you're putting way too much pressure on the tool and the bowl. You need to lighten up. But yeah, there's the yeah, right there, that crack. It's vibrating. So see, it would be, even for me, it would be stupid to go any further than that. It's going to come apart. But yeah, you can go back, but you have to be very careful, very slow. No tool flat on the rest. That's a guaranteed blow up if you use a tool flat on the rest. Don't try a bowl gouge on its side. It don't take much, the angle just a hair off, and it's going to catch, and it's going to be a disaster. Stick with a scraper that's got a curve similar to this, or this one. It's kind of hard to see, get it against something white. So that you're only using a small section of the curve as you're cutting. Get it at an angle, not necessarily aimed upwards. Hold it at an angle on the rest. That's another reason you use very light cuts as you come across, because you have a large and unsupported edge here. You're riding just on the corner of the tool. Take very light cuts and bring it in, and just use portions of the edge. And practice on a few junk bowls, like this one. You find one that's like, oh man, that's ugly. it's not worth it. Okay, then use it as a practice bowl. Get the rim down, don't worry about the inside. Just leave it like that and practice doing an inside curve. It can be a straight rimmed bowl. They're a little easier because you're not having to twist your arm in. You can just put your fingers out here and you just glide the tool outward. But it can be done. I wouldn't make a habit of it. Try and get it right the first time. Go in your 1.5 and get everything cleaned up, looking pretty, and then go through. And that way all you've got to do is blend your sanding and stay away from the rim. And it's much safer, believe me. Believe it or not, I have very few bowls blow up. Very few. I'm an aggressive turner, but I listen to my wood real close. So I'm careful with changes in frequency. I know when something's not right. So that's how you do it. And light, like a feather. Light pressure. You're not gouging these. You're not trying to turn off a massive amount of wood. You're just wanting to take off basically dust until you get it smooth. Get your tool marks out or some tear out. You're not trying to peel the tire off a rim here. Take it very light pressure. Can come in handy when you got one that just you don't want to let go of that baby. So give it a try. This light.